My older brother stole all my girlfriends until I introduced him to my crazy ex. My brother Daniel had this thing where he'd befriend every girl I dated, be the cool older brother, then swoop in the second we had problems. Happened with Ashley, Christine, and Amy over 4 years. Each time acting shocked like it just happened, man. We connected. After Amy left me, I realized Daniel only wanted girls because I had them first. He never kept them longer than 3 months, leaving me heartbroken while he collected my exes like Pokemon cards. Then I remembered Victoria. We dated for 8 months in college. She seemed perfect until the crazy emerged. She tracked my location obsessively, showed up at my classes unannounced, cried if I didn't text back within 5 minutes, made me FaceTime her while I showered to prove I wasn't cheating. The breakup took 6 attempts. Daniel came to Thanksgiving saying he's ready to settle down. I mentioned I ran into Victoria. She looked amazing and asked about him. Total lie, but Daniel took the bait, asking, "She single?" I gave him her number. Victoria was thrilled because she thought Daniel was hotter than me. They went on a date, and I watched the trap spring. Week 1, Daniel texts me. "She's so attentive." I replied, "She really cares." Knowing those good morning texts came at 5 a.m., 6 a.m., and 7 a.m. Month 1, Daniel looks tired at family dinner. Victoria answered every question for him, monitored his phone. His eyes screamed, "Help." Month 2, he tried breaking up. She showed up at his job crying, at the gym, called him 47 times in one evening. Month 3, Daniel calls at 2 a.m., whispering, "She has a key I don't remember giving her. She rearranged my furniture and talks about our future kids." I said, "Sounds serious, bro," and went back to sleep. Month 4, Daniel escaped by moving apartments and blocking her. He came over looking traumatized. I handed him a beer and said, "That just happened, man. You two connected." He realized I set him up. I smiled and said, "I introduced you to someone." But Daniel wasn't looking at me anymore. He was looking past me, his eyes going wide. I turned around and there she was. Victoria, standing in my doorway with that smile I remembered too well. She had a key somehow. "Hey, babe," she said to Daniel, but her eyes were locked on me. "I missed you so much," she whispered, stepping closer to me now. Daniel started backing toward the door. "Wait," I said, my stomach dropping. She reached out and touched my face. "I never stopped loving you. You set this whole thing up to get my attention back, didn't you? That's so romantic." Daniel was already gone, and I heard the lock click from the outside. Victoria leaned against the door, blocking it completely. The smile on her face was the same one I remembered from our relationship. Sweet on the surface, but with something wrong underneath. Something I'd convinced myself was just affection back then. "How did you get a key?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. "Oh, sweetie," she said, tilting her head. "I've had a key since March. Remember when you thought you lost your spare at the gym? That was 7 months ago, before I'd even thought about introducing her to Daniel." My hands went cold. "You've been in my apartment? Just checking on you, making sure you were taking care of yourself." She walked past me into the living room like she owned the place, running her fingers along my bookshelf. "You really need to dust more." I pulled out my phone. "Victoria, you need to leave right now." She spun around, face still pleasant. "If you call the police, I'll tell them you invited me over, that Daniel attacked me and you helped me escape." Her voice stayed light, conversational. "I have texts from your number inviting me here from 3 days ago. I never sent you any texts." She held up her phone, showed me a screenshot. There it was. My name, my number, asking her to come over tonight at 8 p.m. "We need to talk about us." "I don't know how you did that, but I never sent that." Victoria shrugged. "Doesn't matter what you know. Matters what I can prove." She sat down on my couch, crossing her legs. "Besides, we have so much to catch up on." I stayed standing by the kitchen counter, putting furniture between us. "What do you want?" "You, obviously." She said it like I'd asked what color the sky was. "Always you." Daniel was fun for a while, but he was never the goal. My brain was trying to process this. "You dated Daniel just to get to me?" Dated is a strong word. I manipulated him into falling for me so you'd eventually set us up. She pulled something from her purse. "Your revenge plan was so predictable? You think I didn't know you'd try something like this?" She held up printed screenshots. Text messages between me and Daniel. My comments about how Victoria would drive him crazy. I felt sick. "You knew the whole time?" "I planned the whole thing." Victoria stood up, walked toward me. "I knew you'd remember how crazy I was. I knew you'd think it would be perfect payback for all those girlfriends he stole. And I knew you'd bring me right back into your life. This is insane. You're insane. I'm in love." She reached out to touch my face again. I pulled back. "Don't be like that. We're perfect for each other. You proved it by going through all this trouble just to get my attention again. That's not what this was. Wasn't it?" She moved closer. "You could have just let Daniel steal another girlfriend. But you chose me specifically. Because somewhere deep down, you never got over us. I need you to leave. Now. I'm not going anywhere. We belong together. She said it with absolute certainty, and I can prove it. Victoria reached into her purse again, pulled out a tablet, started swiping through photos. My stomach dropped further with each image. Me sleeping in my bed. Me cooking dinner. Me sitting on my couch watching TV. Me getting out of the shower. What the fuck is this? I told you. I've been checking on you. She kept swiping. There were hundreds of photos, maybe thousands. All of me, in my apartment, doing normal everyday things. The angles were wrong, though. High up, looking down. Where are these from? Victoria smiled. You never look up, do you? That's always been your problem. Too focused on what's right in front of you. I looked up at my smoke detector, at the air vent, at the bookshelf. Bedroom, bathroom, living room, and kitchen, she said helpfully. The one in the bathroom has the best angle. Really captures everything. You've been watching me for months. 6 months, 2 weeks, and 4 days. But who's counting? She set the tablet down on my coffee table, screen still showing a photo of me asleep in bed from last week. I needed to make sure you weren't seeing anyone else. That you were staying faithful to us. We're not together. We haven't been together in 3 years. Not officially. But you never really moved on, did you? None of those relationships Daniel stole were serious. You were just killing time until we found our way back to each other. I moved toward the window. Victoria stepped in front of me. Where are you going? Away from you. Can't do that. She pulled something else from her purse. A pregnancy test. Pink plus sign, clear as day. We're going to be parents. My blood turned to ice. That's not possible. Sure it is. Remember our last night together? Before you broke up with me the final time? That was over 3 years ago. She shrugged. Medical miracles happen. Or maybe it's from one of the times I let myself in while you were asleep. Details don't matter. What matters is, we're having a baby. You're lying. Am I? She put the test back in her purse. Guess we'll find out in 6 months when you're holding our daughter. I've already picked out names. I was thinking Violet for a girl, Vincent for a boy. This isn't real. None of this is real. It's very real. Victoria sat back down, patted the couch next to her. Come sit. We need to talk about our future. Where we'll live. When we'll get married. How we'll decorate the nursery. I'm leaving. I went for the door. She beat me there, body pressed against it. You leave. I call the police. Tell them you've been holding me here against my will. Show them those texts you supposedly sent. Her voice dropped lower. I've thought of everything. Every possible move you might make. Every way you might try to escape. I've been planning this for so long. Someone will notice. Daniel knows you're here. Daniel thinks you orchestrated this whole thing to trap him. Why would he help you? Besides, I already texted him from your phone thanking him for bringing us back together. My phone was in my pocket. I pulled it out. 3 sent messages to Daniel I never wrote. Thanks for being the catalyst we needed. Victoria and I are working things out. We need some privacy. Don't contact me for a while. How did you? Cloned your phone in April. Every text, every call, every app. She held up a second phone, identical to mine. We're completely synced. When you get a message, I get it too. When you send something, I know immediately. We're connected. I felt like I was going to throw up. Let me out. Not until you understand. Victoria's voice got soft, almost gentle. I love you. More than anyone has ever loved another person. What I did, the planning, the cameras, dating Daniel, all of it was because I love you that much. Don't you see how romantic that is? It's not romantic. It's stalking. It's dedication. She reached up, ran her fingers through my hair. I would do anything for us. Anything at all. I shoved past her, hard enough that she stumbled. Made it to the door, got it open. She grabbed my shirt, pulled me back. We struggled for a second before I broke free, ran for the stairs. Victoria didn't chase me, just called after me, voice still calm. I'll be here when you get back. I'll always be here. I ran down 3 flights of stairs, burst out into the parking lot. My car was on the other side. I sprinted for it, hands shaking so bad I dropped my keys twice trying to unlock it. Finally got in, locked the doors, sat there breathing hard, watching my apartment building. Victoria appeared in my window, looking down at me. She waved. I started the car, peeled out of the parking lot. Didn't know where I was going, just away. My phone buzzed. Text from Victoria. Don't go to the police. Don't go to your parents. Don't go to your friends. I know everyone you know. I've been watching all of them too. You go anywhere, I'll know. And I'll make sure everyone thinks you're crazy, not me. Another buzz. Another photo. This one of me right now, sitting in my car at a red light. She was following me. Had to be following me. I checked my mirrors. Traffic everywhere, but no obvious tail. Phone buzzed again. I'm not following you, silly. I just know where you are. Check under your car when you get a chance. The light turned green. I drove in random directions for 20 minutes before pulling into a 24-hour gas station. Got down on my hands and knees, looked under my car with my phone flashlight. There, small black box magnetically attached near the rear wheel, GPS tracker. I pulled it off, threw it in a trash can, got back in my car. Drove to Daniel's new apartment across town. He wouldn't let me in. Wouldn't even answer the buzzer. Finally, a text from him. "You did this to yourself. This is karma. Figure it out." I sat in my car outside his building for an hour. Tried calling him 6 times. No answer. Eventually drove to a motel on the highway. Paid cash. Used a fake name. The clerk didn't care. Just wanted the money. Sat on the scratchy bedspread and stared at my phone. 7 texts from Victoria. "I miss you already. Don't sleep in that motel. The reviews say they have bed bugs. Room 18B, right? Not the best choice. Come home. We'll work this out. I love you. Why are you ignoring me? This is childish. You're making this harder than it needs to be. Just come home. We belong together. I'm pregnant with your baby. You can't run forever. I'll wait. I'll always wait for you." I turned off my phone. Tried to sleep. Couldn't. Every shadow looked like her. Every sound outside was her coming to find me. At 3 a.m., I turned my phone back on. 9 new texts. I didn't read them. Called the police non-emergency line. Explained the situation. The cameras, the stalking, the pregnancy claim, all of it. The officer sounded bored. "Has she threatened you physically?" "No." "But broken into your home?" "She has a key somehow." "That you gave her?" "No, So no breaking and entering." "Has she threatened violence?" "She says she'll claim I'm holding her hostage if I call the police." "Sir, without explicit threats, there's not much we can do. You can file for a restraining order, but you'll need evidence of harassment. I have hundreds of photos she took of me without permission. Were they taken in your private residence?" "Yes." "And she had access to this residence?" "She let herself in without permission." "But did she break in? Damage anything?" "No." The officer sighed. "I understand you're upset, but this sounds like a domestic situation. Maybe you two need to talk it out. If she makes specific threats or commits a crime, call us back." They hung up. I sat there holding my phone, feeling completely powerless. Turned it off again. Lay in the dark. Listened to trucks on the highway. When morning came, I drove to the courthouse. Filed for a restraining order. The clerk gave me forms, told me to fill them out completely, that a judge would review them within 72 hours. I wrote down everything. The cameras, the stalking, the phone cloning, the GPS tracker, attached printed screenshots of her texts. Filed the paperwork. Was told someone would contact me. Drove to work. My boss, Fletcher, asked why I looked like hell. I told him I had the flu. He sent me home. I went to a coffee shop instead. Sat in the corner, drank bad coffee, tried to figure out my next move. Phone buzzed. I'd turned it back on to check work emails. Text from Victoria. "Filing a restraining order? Really? After everything we've been through? That hurts." She knew. Already knew. Was she at the courthouse? Did she have someone watching it? Or was there another tracker I hadn't found? I went back to my car, spent 45 minutes checking every inch of it. Found another GPS device in the wheel well, and another behind the license plate. 3 total. Destroyed all of them. Felt slightly better. That feeling lasted until I got to my parents' house that evening. Needed to warn them about Victoria, tell them what was happening. Mom opened the door, beaming. She hugged me before I could say anything. "Congratulations, we're so happy for you both." "What?" "Victoria stopped by this afternoon. Told us the wonderful news. She's such a sweet girl. I don't know why you never mentioned her before." Dad appeared behind Mom, shook my hand. "About time you settled down. She seems like a keeper. Very polite. Brought us those cookies we like from the bakery on 5th Street. My brain couldn't process this. When was she here?" "A few hours ago," Mom said. "Stayed for tea. We talked about wedding plans. She wants a spring wedding. Isn't that lovely?" "Mom, Dad, listen to me. Victoria is not my girlfriend. She's stalking me. You can't believe anything she says." They exchanged a look. The kind parents give each other when they think their kid is being dramatic. "Honey, she showed us photos of you two together," Mom said gently. "From your apartment. You were sleeping and she was lying next to you. Because she broke in and took photos while I was unconscious." "She has a key," Dad said. "You gave her a key." "I didn't give her anything. She's insane. Dangerous." "She seemed perfectly nice to us," Mom said, her voice getting that edge it got when she thought I was lying. "Very respectful. Well-spoken. Did she tell you she's been watching me through hidden cameras for 6 months?" Another look between them. "Now you're just being ridiculous. I'm filing a restraining order. Stay away from her. Don't let her in the house again. Don't believe anything she tells you." "We'll do no such thing," Dad said. "If you're having cold feet about the relationship, that's between you and her. But don't involve us in your drama." "This isn't drama," This is serious. Then handle it like an adult, Dad said. That girl is pregnant with our grandchild. You're not running away from your responsibilities. My stomach dropped. She told you that? Of course she did, Mom said. She's 3 months along. Showed us the ultrasound pictures. That's impossible. We haven't been together in years. She said you'd say that, Dad said quietly. Said you've been struggling with commitment, getting scared now that it's real. This is crazy. You're believing a stalker over your own son. Watch your tone, Dad warned. We raised you better than to speak that way about the mother of your child. I left, got in my car and screamed until my throat hurt. Victoria had thought of everything. Every single thing. She'd gotten to my parents first, planted her version of events, made herself the victim, drove back to the motel. Different room this time, different name. Paid more cash. Lay on the bed and stared at the ceiling. My phone buzzed every few minutes. Didn't look at it. At some point, I must have fallen asleep because I woke up to someone pounding on the door. Weak sunlight through the curtains. Morning. Housekeeping, a voice called. I'm still here, I yelled back. The pounding stopped. I checked my phone. 247 unread texts from Victoria, and one from Daniel. We need to talk. Coffee place on Maple Street. 10 a.m. Don't be late. I looked at the time. 9:42 a.m. Maple Street was 15 minutes away. Got dressed, drove there, sat in my car until I saw Daniel walk in. Waited another minute to make sure Victoria wasn't with him. Went inside. Daniel was in the back corner, 2 coffees already on the table. He looked worse than I felt. Dark circles under his eyes, 3 days of stubble, wrinkled shirt. I sat down. Neither of us spoke for a minute. Finally, Daniel pushed one of the coffees toward me. She came to my office yesterday. When? Tuesday afternoon. Walked right past security. Told my boss we were having a baby and I was dodging her calls. His voice was flat. I got suspended pending an investigation into my professional conduct. Jesus. She's been sending my co-workers messages from a fake profile. Photos of me and her, claiming I got her pregnant and abandoned her. Daniel rubbed his face. 3 people I work with called to tell me I'm a piece of shit. She told my parents we're together, that I got her pregnant. He looked up at me. Are you serious? Dead serious. Showed them ultrasound photos, apparently. That's insane. We only dated for 4 months, and I never. He trailed off. We used protection every single time. She's lying about all of it. The pregnancy, the relationship, everything. Daniel pulled out his phone, showed me messages. Victoria telling his mom we were engaged. His mom congratulating him. His sister asking when the wedding was. She's doing this to both of us, I said. Why? What does she get out of this? Me. She wants me back. You were just part of her plan to make that happen. That's psychotic. I know. I showed him my phone. The endless texts. The photos from the hidden cameras. The GPS trackers. Daniel went pale. She did all this? And more. I told him about the phone cloning, the fake texts, the visit to my parents, all of it. We need to stop her, Daniel said. I tried. Police won't help without explicit threats. Parents think I'm lying. She's 2 steps ahead of everything I do. Then we document everything. Build a case. Get a lawyer. I already filed for a restraining order. Good. I'll do the same. Daniel opened his laptop, started typing. We make a timeline. Every interaction, every text, every lie she's told. We gather evidence until it's undeniable. We spent 3 hours in that coffee shop. Built a spreadsheet. Downloaded text message histories. Made lists of everyone Victoria had contacted and what she'd told them. By the time we finished, we had 87 pages of documentation. This is solid, Daniel said. No way a judge looks at this and doesn't grant the restraining order. We also need to warn people. Everyone she might contact next. I started making calls. Friends, extended family, co-workers. Most of them listened. Some believed me. Some thought I was being dramatic. 2 hung up when I mentioned Victoria's name. That's when my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Hello? Is this the partner of Victoria Sutton? A woman's voice? Professional? Who is this? I'm calling from Mercy General Hospital. Miss Sutton was brought in an hour ago. She's asking for you. My blood went cold. What happened? She collapsed at a shopping center. We're running tests now, but she's requesting you be here. Are you able to come in? I looked at Daniel. He was watching me, concerned. What's wrong with her? I can't discuss patient details over the phone, but she's stable and asking for you specifically. I'm not coming. Sir, she's pregnant. Given her condition, we really think. She's not pregnant, and I'm not her partner. Don't call me again. I hung up. Daniel stared at me. Hospital called. Victoria supposedly collapsed. Claims she's pregnant with my baby. Let me guess. They want you to come in. Yeah, it's a trap. She's faking it to get you there. To make it look like you care. Like you're involved. I know. I blocked the number. My phone rang again. Different number. I didn't answer. It rang 4 more times from 4 different numbers before I turned it off completely. Daniel and I sat there in silence. "She's escalating," he finally said. "This is only going to get worse." "I know. We need professional help. A lawyer who specializes in stalking cases." "I can't afford that." "I can." Daniel closed his laptop. "I got you into this. Least I can do is help get you out." We left the coffee shop. Daniel knew a lawyer through work, made some calls, got us an appointment for the next day. I drove to a different motel, checked in under another fake name, turned my phone on long enough to text my boss that I needed a few personal days, turned it back off before Victoria could respond. Slept maybe 2 hours. Every sound jerked me awake. Car doors, voices, footsteps in the hallway. Next morning, met Daniel at the lawyer's office. Her name was Patricia Kemp. Late 42nds, sharp suit, no nonsense expression. We spent 2 hours explaining everything. Showed her our documentation. She took notes, asked questions, didn't seem shocked by any of it. When we finished, she sat back in her chair. "This is textbook stalking with obsessive fixation. You have enough evidence for a restraining order, possibly enough for criminal charges of harassment and illegal surveillance. The police wouldn't help," I said, "because you talk to patrol officers who don't understand stalking cases." She pulled out her phone. "I have contacts in the detective division. Let me make some calls." She stepped out of the office. Daniel and I waited in silence. Patricia came back 15 minutes later. "I spoke with Detective Morris. He's willing to look at your evidence. Can you come to the station tomorrow at 10 a.m.? "Yes. Absolutely." "Good. Bring everything. Printed text messages, the GPS trackers, screenshots of the photos, everything you have. What about my parents? They believe her story. Once we get legal protection in place, I'll draft a cease and desist letter to send to Victoria. It should help your parents understand the situation is serious." "Should I stay away from my apartment?" Patricia nodded. "Until the restraining order is granted and served, yes. Is there somewhere safe you can stay?" "I've been moving between motels." "That's smart. Keep doing that. Vary your locations. Pay cash if possible." "She's tracking me somehow. I found 3 GPS devices on my car, but she still knows where I am. Could be your phone. I can recommend a tech specialist who can sweep it for spyware. Could also be a device on your person. Check your wallet, your jacket pockets, even your shoes." After the meeting, Daniel drove me to a tech shop his lawyer recommended. A guy named Kumar spent an hour examining my phone. "Bad news," he finally said. "You've got remote access software installed. Someone can see everything you do on this phone. Every text, every call, every app. They can activate your camera and microphone remotely." "How did that get there?" "Either physical access to install it, or you clicked a malicious link in a text or email." He showed me the code. "It's sophisticated, professional-grade stalking software. Can you remove it?" "I can, but whoever installed it will know the second I do. They'll get an alert that the connection was severed." "Do it anyway." He removed the software, reset my phone to factory settings, helped me set up new accounts with stronger security. Took 2 hours. "You should also change all your passwords," Kumar said, "and enable 2-factor authentication on everything." I did that from his computer while he swept my jacket, wallet, and shoes. Found another small tracker sewn into the lining of my jacket, one in my wallet between 2 pieces of leather. Nothing in my shoes. How did I not notice these? They're designed to be invisible, thin as paper, lightweight, same color as the material they're attached to. Unless you're looking specifically for them, you wouldn't see them. I destroyed both trackers, bought a new wallet from the convenience store next door. My phone started buzzing the second we finished. "Victoria, I see you found my insurance policies. Cute, but you're forgetting something. I know you better than you know yourself. I don't need GPS to find you." Another text. "You went to a lawyer. Patricia Kemp, right? She has a good reputation. Won't help though. I haven't done anything illegal. Everything I have, you gave me. The key, the access, the relationship. All gifts. Another one. And those photos from the cameras, I can claim you knew about them, that it was a couple's thing, your word against mine." I showed the texts to Daniel. He looked sick. "She's right," he said quietly. "About the legal gray area. You did give her a key once, right? Years ago?" "Yeah, but I got it back when we broke up." "Can you prove that?" I tried to remember. Couldn't. It was 3 years ago. Who keeps proof of returning a key? This is exactly what Patricia warned us about. Stalkers who stay just legal enough that charges don't stick. We drove to my apartment. I needed clothes, documents, my laptop. Daniel came with me. The place felt violated. Everything was exactly where I'd left it. But knowing Victoria had been there, watching through cameras, touching my things, sleeping in my bed, I wanted to burn it all. Packed a bag as fast as I could. Grabbed my important documents from the file cabinet. Unplugged my desktop computer to take with me. That's when I noticed my bookshelf. One book out of place, my old college yearbook. It had been on the top shelf. Now it was on the middle shelf, lying flat. I pulled it out. A note fell from between the pages. Victoria's handwriting, page 84. Remember when everything was perfect? I flipped to page 84. Photos from junior year. There we were, me and Victoria at some party, her pressed against my side, both of us smiling. Someone had drawn a heart around us in red marker, written forever across the bottom of the page. I dropped the yearbook like it was on fire. She was here. After I left, she came back. Daniel picked up the yearbook, looked at the page. When did she have time to do this? I don't know. Yesterday? This morning? We need to leave. Now. Grabbed my bags and got out. Drove straight to another motel. Different part of town. Different chain. Different fake name. Daniel stayed with me this time. Said he wasn't letting me stay alone anymore. Not with Victoria escalating like this. We ordered pizza, sat on the scratchy beds, and went through my college yearbook page by page. Found 17 more notes in Victoria's handwriting. Little messages tucked between random pages. I never stopped loving you. We belong together. You're mine forever. No one else understands us. Some were dated. The most recent was from 2 days ago. She'd been in my apartment while I was at work, going through my things, leaving messages. Daniel took photos of every note, added them to our documentation. My phone rang. Patricia Kemp, I have an update. Detective Morris reviewed your case. He's opening an official investigation into Victoria Sutton for stalking, harassment, and illegal surveillance. That's good news. There's more. He ran her name through the system. She has 2 prior arrests for stalking behavior. Different men, different states. One case resulted in a restraining order violation and 90 days in jail. Jesus, why didn't this come up before? The arrests were in different jurisdictions under slightly different name spellings. Victoria Sutton, Tori Sutton. She knows how to work the system. What about the restraining order I filed? Judge granted it this afternoon. It's effective immediately. Victoria is not allowed within 500 feet of you, your residence, your workplace, or your vehicle. She'll be served tomorrow morning. I felt a tiny bit of relief. Not much, but some. What if she violates it? Then she'll be arrested. The detective has already flagged her file. Any contact with you after service is an automatic violation. Thank you. Really. One more thing. The detective is going to interview your parents tomorrow. They need to understand Victoria has lied to them. Good. Maybe they'll actually believe it coming from a cop. That night I slept slightly better. Daniel was in the next bed, both of us fully clothed, phones on the nightstand. Woke up at 4 a.m. to my phone buzzing. Multiple texts from numbers I didn't recognize. I'm disappointed in you. A restraining order? Really? After everything we've been through? After all the love I've shown you? You're going to regret this. I screenshot every message, sent them to Patricia and Detective Morris. Daniel woke up, groggy. What's happening? She's using burner phones now. Smart. She knows the restraining order is coming. We can't prove these are from her. The writing style is identical. The content is clearly her. It'll be enough. Morning came. We met Detective Morris at 10 a.m. like planned. He was mid-50 seconds, gray at the temples, tired eyes that had seen everything. Spread all our documentation across his desk. Read through it methodically. Didn't comment until he'd seen everything. This is one of the more thorough stalking cases I've seen, he finally said. Most victims don't document this well. My brother helped. We're both detail-oriented. That's clear. Detective Morris pulled up something on his computer. I contacted Victoria's previous victims. Both were willing to speak with me. Their stories match yours almost exactly. The obsession, the manipulation, the surveillance. One of them still has PTSD from the experience. Can we use their testimony? Possibly. Depends on what charges we file. But it establishes a pattern of behavior. Shows this isn't a one-time thing. What are our options? Criminal charges for stalking, harassment, and illegal surveillance. If we can prove she installed the GPS trackers and phone spyware without your knowledge, that's computer crimes. The fake pregnancy claims could be fraud depending on if she's attempted to extort money or resources. She hasn't asked for money, yet, but she's manipulated your family relationships, which could fall under coercive control statutes. Can you arrest her? Not yet. I need to serve the restraining order first, see if she violates it. I also need to verify some of the evidence. The cameras in your apartment, for instance. We'll need to retrieve them as physical evidence. I can show you where they are. Good. We'll do that today. I'm also going to interview your parents this afternoon. Help them understand what's really happening. They think she's pregnant with my baby. I've dealt with that before. I'll bring medical evidence showing the timeline doesn't match. Usually helps snap family members out of the delusion. We drove to my apartment with Detective Morris and another officer. Used my key to get in. Felt surreal walking in with police. Found the camera in the smoke detector right away. Detective Morris carefully removed it, bagged it as evidence. Bathroom camera was in the air vent. Living room camera was tucked into a decorative plant I'd had for years. So hidden I'd never have found it without knowing it was there. Kitchen camera was inside a fake electrical socket on the wall. 4 cameras total, all professionally installed, all running on battery power with wireless transmission. These are expensive, the other officer said. Few $100s each, plus the monitoring equipment. Someone invested serious money into this setup. Detective Morris photographed everything, documented the locations, took the cameras for evidence. When were these installed? Based on the dust patterns, I'd guess 6 months ago, maybe longer. That matched what Victoria had told me. 6 months, 2 weeks, and 4 days. She'd been proud of it. We also found a 5th camera I hadn't known about. In my bedroom closet, pointed at the bed. Battery was dead, but the SD card inside had months of footage. Detective Morris took that too. I'm going to need you to stay somewhere else until we complete the investigation. This apartment is part of an active crime scene now. I'm already staying at a motel. Good. Keep doing that. That afternoon, Daniel and I waited at a diner while Detective Morris interviewed our parents. Got a call an hour later. Your parents are in shock, he said. I showed them Victoria's arrest records, the medical evidence disproving her pregnancy claims, and the photos from the hidden cameras. Your mother cried. Your father got very quiet. Do they believe me now? Yes. They want to speak with you when you're ready. I'm not ready. That's fair. I told them to document any contact Victoria makes with them. She'll probably try to maintain the relationship now that she's losing access to you. You think she'll go after them? Stalkers typically escalate when they lose direct access to their target. They go through family, friends, co-workers, anyone connected to the victim. Great. I'm serving the restraining order tomorrow morning. After that, any contact she makes with you or your family is a criminal violation. We'll be ready. I hung up. Daniel was watching me. They believe you now? Yeah. How do you feel? Tired. We ate our food in silence. My phone buzzed. Mom calling. I let it go to voicemail. Listened to the message later. Her voice was small, ashamed. Honey, I'm so sorry. We should have believed you. That girl came here so prepared, so convincing. She had answers for everything. But the detective showed us the truth. Please call me back. We love you. We're here for you. I deleted it. Maybe I'd call her back eventually. But not yet. Next morning, Detective Morris called. I served the restraining order at Victoria's apartment at 7 a.m. She accepted service calmly. Too calmly. What does that mean? Usually there's an emotional response. Anger, tears, denial. She just smiled and said she understood. Then she asked if you were okay. That's creepy. That's Victoria. I warned her that any contact with you from this point forward is a criminal violation. She nodded and closed the door. So now we wait? Now we wait. Didn't have to wait long. 3 hours later, my work email got a message from an address I didn't recognize. Subject line, I'll always love you. The email was long, rambling. Victoria talking about our destiny, our connection, how the restraining order couldn't stop true love, how she'd wait for me forever, how we'd be together in the end because it was meant to be. I forwarded it to Detective Morris immediately. He called back within minutes. That's a violation, clear and explicit. I'm getting a warrant for her arrest now. Thank God. Do not respond to the email. Don't engage with her in any way. I won't. 2 hours later, Detective Morris called again. We arrested Victoria at her apartment. She's being held without bail due to flight risk and the stalking history. It's over? For now. She'll have a court date in a few weeks. Given her record and the evidence, I expect she'll serve time. How much time? Depends on the charges that stick. Could be anywhere from months to years. I felt like I could breathe for the first time in weeks. Thank you. Seriously, thank you. You did the hard part. Most stalking victims don't document everything like you did. Made my job a lot easier. That night I slept at a real hotel, not a motel. An actual nice place with a comfortable bed and room service. Daniel insisted on paying for it. Woke up to silence. No texts, no calls, no Victoria. Checked my email. Nothing from her. Checked my messages. Nothing. It felt wrong. Too quiet. Like waiting for the other shoe to drop. But days passed. Then a week. Victoria was in jail. Detective Morris said she wasn't making bail because of her record and the violation. Her court date was set for 3 weeks out. I slowly started putting my life back together. Went back to work. Fletcher asked if I was feeling better. I said yes. Thank you for the time off. Started looking for a new apartment. Couldn't go back to the old one. Too many memories. Too much violation. My parents reached out again. I finally answered. Met them for dinner. It was awkward. They apologized multiple times. I accepted but told them it would take time to rebuild trust. Daniel and I started talking regularly again. About normal things, sports, work, life, not about Victoria. Everything seemed okay. Then, the trial happened. Victoria represented herself. The judge tried to assign her a public defender. She refused, said she wanted to speak her truth directly. The courtroom was small. Me, Daniel, my parents, Detective Morris, Patricia Kemp, a handful of court staff, and Victoria. She looked different, hair pulled back, simple dress, no makeup, almost vulnerable. The prosecutor presented the evidence. The cameras, the GPS trackers, the phone spyware, Victoria's previous arrests, the restraining order violation. When it was Victoria's turn to speak, she stood up, looked directly at me. "Everything I did for love," she said. Her voice was clear, steady. "He doesn't understand yet, but he will. We're meant to be together." The cameras were so I could protect him. The tracking was so I could make sure he was safe. The judge interrupted. "Miss Sutton, this is not helping your case. Your Honor, with respect, you don't understand." Victoria smiled. That same sweet, wrong smile. "What I feel for him is transcendent. It's beyond normal human connection. It's spiritual." The judge ordered a psychiatric evaluation. Victoria kept talking. "I would never hurt him. I love him more than life itself. Everything I did was to ensure we could be together. The universe wants us together. Miss Sutton, please sit down. We're going to have children together. We're going to grow old together. This is just a temporary obstacle. He'll forgive me. He always does." The bailiff physically guided her back to her seat. She was still smiling. The judge declared a recess. Ordered Victoria evaluated by a court psychologist before the trial could continue. We reconvened 2 weeks later. The psychologist's report was damning. Victoria showed signs of erotomania, obsessive-compulsive disorder, and delusional disorder. She genuinely believed we were in a relationship despite all evidence to the contrary. The judge read through the report, looked at Victoria. "Miss Sutton, based on this evaluation and the evidence presented, I'm finding you mentally unfit to stand trial. You're being remanded to Clearview Psychiatric Facility for treatment until such time as you're deemed competent." Victoria stood up. "How long?" "That will be determined by your treatment team. But I need to get back to him. He needs me. Miss Sutton, you're to have no contact with the victim. That order stands regardless of your location. You don't understand. We belong together." The bailiff let her out. She was still talking, still insisting we were soulmates, still smiling. Detective Morris turned to me. "She'll be there a while, probably years. They don't release patients with her profile quickly. What if she gets out? Then the restraining order is still active, and I'll be notified immediately." I nodded. Couldn't speak. Patricia Kemp put a hand on my shoulder. "It's over. You're safe now." I wanted to believe her. That night, Daniel and I got drunk at his apartment. Really drunk. First time in months I felt like celebrating. "You know what the worst part was?" I said somewhere around midnight. "I created this. I set her up with you as revenge and she twisted it into this whole thing. You didn't create her mental illness." Daniel refilled my glass. "She was already like this. You just gave her an excuse. I ruined your life too, though. For like 4 months. Then we took her down together." He raised his glass. "To never dating crazy again. To never dating anyone I've dated," I countered. Daniel laughed. "Deal. I'm done stealing your girlfriends anyway. Learned my lesson. Took me 6 months to feel normal again. Moved to a new apartment across town. Changed my phone number. Set up all new email accounts. Scrubbed my social media presence. Started therapy. My therapist, Dr. Yun, specialized in victims of stalking. Helped me understand none of it was my fault. That Victoria's illness made her see connections that didn't exist. Work got better. Fletcher gave me a promotion. Said I'd handled a difficult personal situation with grace and was ready for more responsibility. Started dating again. Carefully. Very carefully. First date was coffee in a public place. Second date was a movie with friends. Took 3 months before I felt comfortable being alone with someone. Her name was Simone. She worked in marketing, liked hiking and bad horror movies, had never heard of Victoria. Things were good. Then one day, a year after Victoria was committed, I got a letter. It was from Clearview Psychiatric Facility. My hands shook opening it. "Mr. Hayes, this letter is to inform you that patient Victoria Sutton has shown significant improvement in her treatment and will be evaluated for possible release in 6 months. Per court order, we are required to notify all parties with active restraining orders. Please contact our office if you have concerns about this evaluation." I called Detective Morris immediately. "She might get out?" "Not definitely, but they're evaluating her. I'll attend the hearing, present the case history. They take victim impact very seriously at these hearings. What if they let her go anyway? Then the restraining order is still active. She contacts you, she goes to jail. No psychiatric excuse. I'm moving. Out of state. That might be smart. Give me your new address when you're settled." I'll make sure it's flagged in the system. I told Simone that night. About everything. Victoria, the stalking, the cameras, the trial, all of it. She listened without interrupting. When I finished, she took my hand. Are you safe now? I don't know. Do you want to move somewhere together? Start fresh? You'd do that? She nodded. I like you, and I like adventure. New city sounds fun. We moved to Portland 2 months later. Different state, different job, different life. Changed my name legally. Not completely, but enough. Austin Hayes became Austin Caldwell. Close enough that old friends could find me if needed. Different enough that casual searches wouldn't connect. Sim. One got a job at a tech startup. I found work at an engineering firm. We got a small apartment in a neighborhood we liked. Things were quiet. Good quiet. Victoria's evaluation hearing happened. Detective Morris called me after. She's not being released. Showed no real improvement. Just learned to say what they wanted to hear. The psychologist saw through it. How long now? Minimum 2 more years before another evaluation. I exhaled. Good. But she's been writing letters. To who? Everyone. Your parents, Daniel, old friends. The facility monitors all her mail. Nothing gets sent. But she's writing them. What do they say? Same themes. Love, destiny, inevitable reunion. Her treatment team uses them as evidence of ongoing delusion. I hung up, feeling sick. Even locked up, she was still fixated. Daniel and I talked every few weeks. He was seeing someone new. Someone he'd met through work, not through me. Making a point of keeping his dating life separate. You doing okay out there? He asked during one call. Yeah, Portland's nice. Simone's great. I feel safe. Good. You deserve that. How's the family? Mom asks about you. Dad's quieter. I think he feels guilty about how he handled everything. He should. He does. Daniel paused. Victoria sent me another letter this week. She's not supposed to be able to do that. The facility monitors it. It doesn't actually get mailed, but she writes them. Always the same thing. Apologizing for using me to get to you. Promising when she gets out, she'll explain everything. She's never getting out. I hope you're right. 2 years passed. Work was good. Simone and I got engaged. My parents flew out to meet her. It was okay. Not perfect, but okay. Detective Morris called on a Tuesday morning. Victoria's having another evaluation hearing next month. And I'll be there again. But you should know, her treatment team thinks she's made genuine progress this time. They might recommend conditional release. My stomach dropped. What does that mean? Group home, supervised living, mandatory therapy, GPS monitoring, restraining order still active. Any contact with you is immediate incarceration. I don't want her out at all. I understand. I'm going to fight it. But prepare yourself for the possibility. I told Simone. She held me while I cried for the first time in years. We can move again if we need to, she said. Further away, different coast. I'm tired of running. Then we stay and fight. The hearing happened. I didn't attend. Couldn't face her. Detective Morris and Patricia Kemp represented my interests. Called me after. She's being released to a group home in 3 months. Full supervision. She violates any condition. She goes back immediately. I felt like I'd been punched. There's more. She completed a victim impact acknowledgement program. She's required to send you a formal apology letter through the court system. I don't want it. You don't have to read it, but it's part of her release conditions. The letter arrived 4 weeks later. Thick envelope. Official court seal. I stared at it for an hour before opening it. 3 pages. Victoria's handwriting. Different from before. Less manic. More measured. Dear Austin, I am writing this letter as part of my treatment and release conditions. I want to apologize for my behavior over the past 3 years. What I did was wrong. The stalking, the cameras, the manipulation of Daniel and your family, all of it was wrong. I have been diagnosed with erotomania and delusional disorder. This doesn't excuse my actions, but it helps me understand them. I believed we had a connection that didn't exist. I see now that what I thought was love was actually obsession and illness. I have been in treatment for 3 years. I take medication daily. I attend therapy 4 times a week. I have learned to recognize my delusional thoughts and challenge them. I understand now that you do not love me, that you never did in the way I believed, that we are not meant to be together. I am being released to supervised housing. I am not allowed to contact you under any circumstances. I understand this. I accept this. I will not violate this order. I hope someday you can find peace with what happened. I hope you have built a good life. You deserved better than what I put you through. I am sorry. Victoria Sutton. I read it 3 times, showed it to Simone, to Dr. Yoon. What do you think? Dr. Yoon asked. I think she learned what to say. You don't believe it's genuine? I don't know what to believe. That's okay. You don't have to decide right now. Victoria was released on a Friday. I got a notification from the court system. She was in a group home 4 states away, required to wear a GPS monitor, required to check in with a supervisor twice daily. For a month, nothing happened. Then, 2 months, 6 months, a year. The restraining order was still active. Would be for 5 more years unless I requested it be lifted. I had no intention of doing that. Life continued. Simone and I got married. Small ceremony in Portland. Daniel was my best man. My parents came. It was good. Started thinking maybe it really was over. Maybe Victoria had actually changed. Then one day I got a notification on my phone. The court system app I'd installed to track her GPS location. Victoria Sutton has violated her movement restrictions. My hands went cold. Called Detective Morris immediately. I see it, he said. She left her approved zone 2 hours ago. Her supervisor has been notified. Police are looking for her now. Where is she? Heading west. Toward Oregon. Toward me. Get somewhere public. Stay around people. I'm making calls. I was at work. Told my boss there was an emergency. He saw my face and didn't ask questions. Called Simone. Where are you? At the office. Why? Stay there. Don't go anywhere alone. Victoria violated her release. She might be coming here. I'm calling security right now. I sat in the lobby of my office building, surrounded by people. Watched my phone. The GPS tracker showed Victoria moving steadily west on the highway. She was 7 hours away. Then 6. Then 5. Police in 3 states were looking for her. But highways are long and there are a million cars. 4 hours away. Detective Morris called. We have units watching your apartment and Simone's office. If Victoria shows up, we'll grab her immediately. How did she get out? She's supposed to be supervised. She went to a medical appointment. Walked out while her supervisor was in the waiting room. Took his car keys from his jacket. Jesus. We'll find her. 3 hours away. I couldn't sit still. Paced the lobby. Security watched me nervously. Simone texted. Building is on lockdown. Security knows what's happening. I'm safe. 2 hours away. Called Daniel. Told him what was happening. Want me to come out there? No. Stay safe. Just wanted you to know in case. Don't. You're going to be fine. 1 hour away. Detective Morris called. We found her. She's in custody. I couldn't speak. She was pulled over doing 90 inches a 65. Officer ran her plates, saw the warrant. She's being extradited back for violating release. Going straight to jail. Is it over? For real this time. Yes. She's not getting out again. I sat down on the lobby floor. Didn't care who saw me. That evening, Simone and I went home together. Police car parked outside our building as a precaution. Detective Morris called later. Victoria was back in custody. Already at the facility she'd been released from. She was asking about you, he said. Wanted to know if you got her letter, if you forgave her. I didn't answer. Her release conditions are permanently revoked. She's being charged with violating parole, theft, and stalking. The judge who released her is furious. She's not getting out. Not for a very long time. Thank you. For everything. Just doing my job. But for what it's worth, I'm sorry this happened to you. That night, Simone and I talked about moving anyway. Starting completely fresh where no one from my past could find me. But we decided to stay. This was our life. Our home. We weren't running anymore. The restraining order was extended for another 10 years. Victoria was sentenced to 7 years for violating her release plus the original stalking charges. I stopped checking on her. Deleted the tracking app. Blocked her name from my news alerts. Life got quiet again. Real quiet. Good quiet. Daniel met someone. Got engaged. I was happy for him. Genuinely happy. My parents and I rebuilt our relationship slowly. They understood why I needed space. Why I couldn't just forgive and forget. Work was good. Marriage was good. Friends were good. Sometimes I thought about Victoria. Wondered if she was getting treatment. If she ever really understood what she'd done. Mostly, though, I just lived. Dr. Yoon told me that was healing. That being able to think about it without falling apart meant I was processing the trauma. 5 years after Victoria's final arrest, I got a letter from her victim advocate. Victoria had completed a victim reconciliation program. She wanted to know if I was open to reading a statement she'd written. I wasn't. 7 years passed. Victoria's release date approached. She'd served her full sentence. Detective Morris called me. She's being released next month. Another supervised situation? No. She's done her time. Full release. Where will she go? Back to her home state. She's required to register as a stalker in some jurisdictions. Restraining order is still active for 3 more years. And if she violates it again, then she goes back for a long time. But Austin, her treatment team says she's different. Really different. I've heard that before. I know. Just telling you what I know. I told Simone. We talked about moving again. Decided against it. We'd built a life here. Had friends, jobs, community. Weren't giving that up. The day Victoria was released, I took off work. Stayed home with Simone. Didn't check the news. Didn't look at social media. Just existed. Weeks passed. Nothing happened. Months. A year. 2 years. The restraining order expired. I didn't renew it. Detective Morris advised me to, but I wanted to stop looking over my shoulder. Victoria never contacted me. According to Daniel, who still lived in our hometown, she'd moved back, got a job at a library, lived alone, kept to herself. Someone sent me a photo once. Victoria at a coffee shop, reading. She looked older, tired, normal. I deleted it.